Hey there, YouTubers. It's October 13th, Thursday, 2022. I'm going to be heading over to Mercado according to current itinerary, scrolling through pictures from our seventh business anniversary, where Senators Merkley and Wyden were there. They showed up for that. So this was over the last summer here. Not just today or anything, right? The Senator Wyden talking to Rosalie. So that's to anchor us in some kind of geographical, spatial temporal context. I like to open that way. But really, what I'm talking about is sort of establishing myself on Rumble and needing to catch people up over there. Of course, this is not in real time, asynchronous, right? It's like I've just put my videos there. Very few people will have found them. I'm branching out, right? Through new contacts, finding new people. I like to wander around in cyberspace, so like visit the Urbit world and so forth. Urbit universe, to be more literal about it, what they've got out there. So I've been adding that to my Python for High School curriculum, even though this is not about Python at all, really. There's a whole other ecosystem there, but I just want this to be a jumping off point for people. And there could still be groups, videos, content about Python in the Urbit world. So catching my Rumble people up to date, I'll put a link to my new Rumble stash in the links here in case you're curious. But getting them up to date, say on the Dymaxion Map, we talked about the geodesic dome in my most recent video on Rumble. But what about the Dymaxion Map? That's also at grunch.net/synergetics. And here's Fuller, right, in 1943, stirring the pot, you could say, getting people conscious of that your choice of map makes a difference. The Mercator is extremely distorted in some ways, and he has his own map, and he wants to propose it, and he does in Life magazine, which is pretty cool. It's like this guy's a class act, right? And so that meme percolates through the culture, and the realization that like the Mercator is super distorted and so on gets picked up. And roll forward here, I'm looking at a 2018 video, so many decades later, where they're kind of talking about the shortcomings of the Mercator and so on, and talking about efforts to improve matters, and the official response and what's been done ever since to make things better as far as map distortion. I have another such video here as well that gets into it, right? And what's interesting is that they go through a huge number of projections, but never do they ever mention the map that really got this whole thing started, which was the Dymaxion projection, Fuller's projection. So that's kind of ironic, right? He kicks the ball off on here, starts the game of talking about this stuff. But when it comes to retrospectives, he's studiously, I would say, studiously avoided. It's like the people who do this research can't not know that they have the option to talk about Bucky, but they choose not to. And that's been an interesting thing, right? To watch, right? And to document, and to make a museum about, and so on. The deliberate suppression of specific knowledge, which is, of course, just treated as everyday knowledge in my high school, right? My high school curriculum, high school whatever, right? So for the Rumble crowd, I was showing them grunch.net, and we drilled down a bit. I'll do that to show you where to get to a little bit more on the map at my site here, Bucky Fuller's Synergetics, right? Let's see, Martian Math, right here at the top, Synergetics on the web. So I was going over this with the Rumble crowd, and we went down this rabbit hole of geodesic domes, but the Fuller projection is right next to it. And there's some of the same graphics, right? This comes from the 90s, this page. And Gall Peters was already being picked up. And now it's even more in the news, or was recently, because Boston went for it. But again, they went through a whole news cycle on that topic of what Boston was doing, or Massachusetts maybe, switching its public schools to the Peters projection. And they did that whole TV cycle with no mention whatsoever of a native Massachusetts inventor, winner of a Medal of Freedom, Charles Eliot Norton Chair of Poetry Lectures. Pretty important dude that is studiously avoided, right? That's the thing to notice if you're in high school and you're doing anthropology. Check out this culture that denies its once most popular futurist, and now under the rug, man. Get that guy off our screen, that kind of thing. All right, talk to you soon.